What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bengals Insiders video channel. I'm Sam. I'm your host. I'm joined by Ethan Sargeant.
Hey, guys.
And we're going to be answering some of the questions that were posted to our fellow journalist Braden's Instagram story. We have 5 questions from some of his devoted followers, and we're going to answer them for you. So the first question, it's from user _1234567890987654321. It says, if Sewell isn't there at 5, should we trade down a couple of spots? Ethan, what do you think?
Personally, I really think it depends on how many quarterbacks are off the board by pick number 5. If there is one of Justin Fields or Zach Wilson, if one of those two is still available at 5, I think there will be a significant number of teams that will be looking to trade up into that 5th spot to get one of those two guys. So I think there might be a significant market for a potential trade that we could potentially get a significant number of high value picks. If there isn't a high level quarterback there like Fields or Wilson, I feel like personally, I think we should stay put. But if there's a big quarterback there, I think the trade down market could be really, really open.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I've been saying this now for a couple of weeks. I remember I wrote an article about this saying that not only would I say if trade down if Sewell isn't there, I would say trade down regardless. I think even you could trade down if you're picking 5th and you trade down to 9th. 6, 7, and 8 probably are not going to be looking to take Penei Sewell. You might even end up landing Sewell with the 9th pick, and you're going to get at least a couple of extra picks that could help you down the road. With this draft, you're looking at Burrow's rookie contract expires in the next couple of years. This team needs to start getting some momentum now, within the next year or two. You got to fill a lot of holes. I think that makes sense. I'd even go a step further. I'd say if you can trade up a pick and try to ensure that you are going to get either Wilson or Fields on the board for that trade bait, it's something they might even want to look into. So the second question, it's from at Alex Evers 23, and it says, Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase if Sewell is off the board. Ethan, what do you think?
Personally, for me, I love both prospects. I think they should both be very high on the Bengals draft board. But I'm going to plug my own video here. I did a big video today on Jamar Chase, and I think I break down a lot of the reasons why, but I'll kind of sum it up here for you. I love Jamar Chase. I think he's the vertical threat the Bengals have been lacking ever since the prime years, really, of A.J. Green. And I think that with Jamar Chase in combination with Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, as much as I love Pitts as a prospect, I feel like Jamar Chase will provide the spark that the offense kind of needs to put all the pieces together. And in combination with a good free agency to bolster the offensive line, I feel like Chase might be the missing piece to really make this offense high caliber.
Yeah, I mean, I would certainly say that neither of those are one of my top 2 choices. I would probably go Slater over both of them if we're picking at 5. But if I had to pick, I'm actually going to disagree. I'm going to say Kyle Pitts. I think he's a little bit better of a fit in the scheme. I think he's going to be he pairs extremely well with Drew Sample. He's somebody who can be a downfield threat as a tight end, and I think that can open up T. Higgins, who I think could also be that vertical threat in the future. I think you can develop what you have. I love Jamar Chase. He's a fantastic prospect. My fear, though, is with a wide receiver room that's already pretty solid, he's going to be getting 4th-round usage for a 1st-round pick. And that makes me a little bit fearful when you're going to be talking about a pretty hefty rookie contract. So the third question is says from Jackson_Taylor8, says, realistically, who should we pick up other than Joe Thuney in free agency? Ethan, what's your take?
So there are a couple names that I've kind of floated around. My dream, this is a little bit out there, but it's a dream, is Kenny Golladay from the Lions. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think he'll actually stay put in Detroit. So I think a guy that definitely could look at is Curtis Samuel, wide receiver from Carolina. I think he's a guy still very young, went to Ohio State, so he's going to have that Ohio connection. He's a downfield threat, as I mentioned with Chase, something that the Bengals do lack. And I feel like Curtis Samuel could be a guy that, really helps this offense grow. And then on the offensive line front, another offensive line guy we could definitely look at is Taylor Moton also from Carolina, actually. He's another very, very talented offensive lineman, outside of Joe Thuney that could really help bolster that offensive line that definitely needs help.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Curtis Samuel. I think he'd be a fantastic addition to the receiver room. I think his usage level is just perfect. I would say it really, really depends on what happens in the draft. I would say Thuney, I think, is irrespective of what happens in the draft. Thuney is absolutely your top target guy. I think you put 100% of your resources into Thuney if you're Tobin in that front office. And then after that, you kind of see what was available in the draft. I would imagine linebacker is a position target, and it depends on who they take defensively in the draft. But I definitely think Curtis Samuel is another guy who, kind of irrespective of who gets taken, could be a really good free agent target. I would agree with you there. So the fourth question we've got is from at Travis Lest YK. It says, when will we be getting Carl Lawson back? Ethan, what do you think?
I think Carl Lawson will come back, whether it be via new contract or the franchise tag. I definitely think we will re-sign Carl Lawson. Does that mean we will not re-sign William Jackson III is to be determined. But I definitely think, personally, I believe that Lawson is going to be higher up on the priority board than Jackson. I think Lawson is extremely important for the health of our defensive line, especially considering the depth that we kind of lack there since Dunlop is now gone. Atkins could be on his way out, and we're kind of lacking depth along all parts of the defensive line. So I really think it's very important that we keep Carl Lawson around, and I think he will stick around.
I'm going to agree with you there. I think Carl Lawson is somebody you got to get back. I don't really see, aside from Lawson, I don't see think there's really anybody else who makes sense or makes as much sense as Lawson in terms of the franchise tag. So I think that's the mode that we will be getting him back on. We will be getting him back on that franchise tag. And to your point about William Jackson, I definitely agree with you. I think William Jackson's brought a lot of energy that is just not necessary for the team. And I think that Tobin in the front office, if they're being smart, will be a little bit blunt with him and expect him to really put up or shut up about all of his contract details and all the things he wants in the contract. I agree with you there. And then the last question, bit of a fan favorite with Tyler Eifert. This is from Zach Moanda 14, says, with Tyler Eifert most likely being a free agent again, could he return to Cincinnati? Ethan, do you think that's possible?
I definitely think it's possible. I don't know if it's going to happen. Tyler Eifert, unfortunately for some Bengals fans to hear, he is past the prime of his career. I loved him when he was in Cincinnati. I think he was a very, very solid tight end when he wasn't hurt. Had some fantastic years here in the jungle. But unfortunately, I don't think it would make a ton of sense for the Bengals to sign Tyler Eifert personally. I do love him, and if they did sign him, I think they could make something out of it. But personally, I think our depth at tight end with Uzama and Sample is already decent. I don't think Eifert would improve it enough for me to warrant really signing him.
Yeah, as much as I like Tyler Eifert and as much as I think the Bengals would like to have Tyler Eifert back, I don't think that respect is mutual. I think the bridges have been burned with how atrocious this training staff has been. I think Eifert's a little bit disgruntled with the fact that he had a really, really promising career, and a lot of that went by the wayside just because of the irresponsibility of ownership and the training staff. So I don't think that he's going to be, chomping at the bit to be back in Cincinnati. I'd love to see him back, and hopefully he does have a little bit left in his heart for the Bengals, but I don't think the fit is there. I don't think it's mutual. But anyway, that's all the questions and that's all the content that we have for today. We hope you come and watch us again. Again, this is me, Sam, your host, and Ethan. We thank you.